This is TWiT.
So BeReal. Are we all using BeReal at this point? I guess show of audible hands as well as raising hands, but I've been on BeReal for probably now like a month and a half, and I'm really enjoying it. What about y'all? Megan, I know you're on BeReal.
Very weird. Yeah, you're on BeReal?
I am. Yeah, we should be BeReal friends. I started being on BeReal through my daughter, she was like, you have to get on this. This was, I don't know, it was like right when it was last summer. I don't remember when it was. And then it was just my kids for a really long time. And then it became, it's my kids, several of their friends who requested me. And so I felt like that was fair to accept their request. And then 4 former coworkers, Jason, Tom Merritt, Mike Elgin, and Will Remus from Washington Post. So it's like 4 guy tech journalists and a bunch of 17 and 19-year-olds. That's who I follow.
Yeah. I've noticed in my short amount of time with BeReal that it is not about amassing, like collecting friends. You know what I mean? Like a lot of services, like when I started Facebook, it was all about like, I knew you for 2 minutes. Sure, you're my friend. And it was about getting that number high, high, as high as possible back in, 2008 or whatever it was. BeReal seems to be a lot more controlled, I suppose. What about you, Ashley, Roberto? Have you used this at all?
Yeah, I love it. I just like the idea of it, which is that for those of you who have not used BeReal, if you're listening to this, so it's an app that is, I would say Jason, it's a controlled social media. So it's not just posting publicly whenever you feel like it. You gotta, basically the app flags you and says you've got 2 minutes to post. Like, this is the time. You get everybody gets the same 2-minute window to take a picture of what you're currently doing, which is why it's called BeReal. It's just like no filters, just nothing, no AR, nothing like that. It's just very straightforward. Takes a picture with your front-facing camera and your rear-facing camera, and that's what gets posted to your profile. And there are rules that it has. So if you post late, other people will not, you won't be able to see other people's photos, their pictures for the day. If you want to delete a BeReal, you can only delete a picture, and you're not allowed to delete the next day's picture. Like the next one that you post. They won't let you delete it. Like it'll say, you can't, so we'll let you delete this one, but you can't delete the next one. So whatever that is. And it says, and there are things where you can say there was a bug or I can't see anything or, what have you. But it's really interesting that, it feels like BeReal is the antithesis of what most people think social media is for at this point, which I think is what is so appealing about it to a lot of Gen Z kids. I read, this is like a weird kind of, I promise I'm coming back to BeReal at this point. I read a really interesting Ask Reddit the other day, and someone said, I just don't understand Gen Z humor. Here's like some examples, and they listed some examples, and it's like, Gen X humor is like very kind of South Parky, sort of nihilistic. Then you get into millennial stuff where it's like this existential crisis humor, and then you get into Gen Z, and it's just like, it's insane. Like you don't know what it even is half the time, and everybody's just kind of like weirdly in on the joke because it's just a vibe. Like the memes are vibes. Like they're not really. They're not at all they don't make sense a lot of the time, but it's a vibe. And I get it. I understand that. And that's cool. I love it. But someone had responded to that Ask Reddit, and they said, it's really interesting because Gen Z's meme humor specifically it moves so quickly. Their version of the internet moves so fast and evolves so quickly that a millennial or a Gen Xer or a boomer, whatever, what have you, might post something and that meme could live for weeks or months. And in the early times of the internet, a meme would live for a year. It was just we all are familiar with the meme, Icon has cheeseburger. That is an iconic longtime meme. That doesn't exist for Gen Z. It's just like, you're living in the moment from moment to moment, meme to meme, and it gets remixed and regurgitated and redone and just transformed so many times in the span of 24 hours that it just becomes chaos. Like, it's chaotic, but it's a vibe. Again, like it's funny because it's a vibe. And so it's, I thought that was so fascinating. And BeReal to me seems like it is working very hard against that. And it's just like, no, this is just like, show people what you're doing right in this moment. It's the same, everybody shares the same 2 minutes. So it's really a little snapshot of like what's going on in time right now at your phone. There you go. That's it. It's like very simple, very straightforward. And it has, it's got bumpers on it, right? It's got guardrails on it to keep you from gaming the system the way so many other social media platforms have been gamed by both influencers, advertisers, everything in between. It's just super fascinating. I find BeReal like so fascinating. It's very interesting to me.
It gives me flashbacks to early Twitter, to be honest. Like early Twitter.
That. Yeah,
just in the sense that when Twitter first came out, it was kind of like, what do we even use this for? You mean we're just supposed to share what we're doing right now? I guess I'm eating a sandwich. Does anyone really want to know that I'm eating a sandwich? Half the time with BeReal, what you end up getting, or at least what I end up getting in my feed, is people sitting in front of their computers, right? So you end up seeing like a screen with whatever they're working on, then a shot of them sitting at their computer, which isn't the most exciting thing. I realize, hey, join a social network where all you see is what people are, that they're working at their computers, just like you. But I think what's interesting or appealing to me about it is that because of the guardrails that you were talking about, Ashley, because of kind of the rules of play, so to speak, and this idea that you can't, like, there's no easy way for you to go all Instagram and show, your luxurious yacht because you just happen to be standing in front of one, with the 2 minutes that it happens or whatever. There's no painting your life to be anything, hopefully, other than what it actually is. And it's kind of the blandness of life ends up being the appealing factor of BeReal for me. It's kind of like confirmation that, like, oh yeah, my life can be pretty boring too. Nice. You're not always seeing just the really great stuff that someone's doing. You're seeing kind of the boring stuff that they're doing. And that's cool too, because that's what being a human is all about. So
there's a very funny tweet about it that says, I can't believe we're all so fake. This is from Connor Franta. He says, I can't believe we're all so fake. They're now making social media apps that force us to be ourselves. That's hilarious. It's like, that's
pretty spot on. Roberto, what were you going to say?
I just like that there's now a social media that'll just chronicle late stage capitalism of just sitting in front of our computers with the existential dread in our eyes. How are things going? Well,
just staring at this box again.
I also just literally signed up for it like 2 seconds ago. I'm like, yeah, that sounds fine, whatever.
I need a fifth tech reporter guy, so yeah.
Oh, it's the same name, STRNGWIS. Okay. Go ahead. Follow me, don't follow me. Don't care.
So the fatal flaw with BeReal, and I don't know why they didn't think of this, it seems quite obvious, is that the app is terrible. And some people think that's like very unique. But the reason why it almost never works, because everyone is using it at the exact same time. And like that is inherent in what you do. Like everybody opens it up and takes the picture. And then, so it's like, well, didn't you know that like as you scaled, as you got more users,
good point.
So
the data spike is very bad.
Oh, so it starts at the same time every day?
Everybody gets
the same time for
everyone.
But you can change your time zone, like to European time zone or like US time zone, but not like little US time zones. But you can be on a different time zone. But it's basically the same time every day. So what has happened is like I've been using it is like I don't really do it every every time. Like, but you can do it at any time in the day. It just shows that you've done it late. And then after you do it, you can see everyone's photos. So like I haven't done mine today, and I'm definitely going to do it of you four to have like a very meta BeReal situation when you least expect it. But that's the thing. It's like it doesn't really But I do still love it for all the reasons that we've discussed. The other thing that I don't know if you know this is that you can retake the picture if you don't like what you look like, but it will notify. Like, it doesn't notify, but you can look at people's BeReals, and like if I see that Jason had like this lovely picture of his steel cut oats and blueberries and his smiling morning face, I can see like how many times did he take that picture. So it'll say like that you like took it, until you had the exact right angle. So
really?
Just so
I didn't know
know
that it had that feature.
Oh yeah.
I thought no one knew
Also,
that I retook that shot 5 times with my
It'll
oats.
snitch on you if you screenshot too. If you screenshot,
it narcs you
It'll
out.
say
Man.
this is a screenshot. Yeah.
It's a snitch.
Yeah.
I travel a lot to Europe,
it is a snitch app for sure.
Is it based on the phone's time zone, or is the app have its own time zone from where you set it up? Because I travel to Europe a lot, and so will it correct as I get over there?
I think it's only.
I guess we'll find out.
Because I think, I think it's
I
only.
guess we'll find out.
Okay, I'm going to be real right now.
Okay.
Oh
yeah. Be reeling.
I'm just gonna look dead inside.
Something like BeReal though, it's hard to see at this stage. Like it's got activity, it's got movement. Obviously, the younger generation users, a lot of like kids using it. I don't want to call them kids. A lot of younger people using them. This is what happens when you get your mid 40s.
Kids.
I start calling them the kids. Get off my lawn.
For kids.
But there's a lot of movement right now. Part of me wonders if an app like BeReal has a short lifespan, right? Because it's interesting right now, but like, what does it have the ability to grow into over time? It's kind of built around these really, like we were talking about it, these hard and fast rules. These companies
Facebook
ultimately want to
broaden
out and become something more. How do you do that when you've got these rules?
Facebook will just copy this. It'll just be a fefeature that Facebook copies. Where it's like, it'll be like a check-in feature, but it'll just be like, hey, like, here's this fun little, sub menu on Instagram Reels or whatever, or on Instagram where you can just choose it. And then it's like, oh, if you'd like to be notified every day to just like snap a picture, we'll take one of the front and back of your camera or whatever. They'll just copy it.
Yeah, you're right. That's what usually happens.
You think the front back people are angry? Remember front back, the app that took a picture of the front and the back? Remember them? You think they're like, oh, come on.
Rest in peace, front back. Pour one out for front back.
Or one out. Or Path.
Or
Peach.
Path, Peach. Yeah.
Yeah, Peach. I forgot about Peach. Yeah.
Yeah. I just signed up for all these things so I keep my screen name, and now I'm just like, But I'm on BeReal now. This is the one that's going to stick.
Yeah,
this is the one. You're ready to be real.
Going to stick around for at least 6 months.
BeReal's the next Facebook. You just wait and see.
Well, Megan's daughter told her about it like a year ago, so it's been around.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been chilling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And imagine the data that they can collect. That's the other thing, because if it really is us just doing our regular normal things, because if you were like, if you're constantly posting on Instagram about like the one time you saved enough money to go to Hawaii for the year, for me, like you're not like, that's not going to be that targeted advertising, right? But if it's like everything you're doing on a normal day, everything that's in your background, like, I mean, obviously they have a privacy policy in place and they're not like grabbing all that stuff yet, but it is a pretty interesting trove of data, just like what you're actually doing in your regular life.
Mm-hmm.